Nobody was expecting to hear what Trey Gowdy just revelead about Obama. Trey Gowdy gets a lot of hate from the left. That is because he is not afraid to get the truth from whoever he wants it from. He has done lots of work in order to get rid of the corruption that plagues Washington these days. Gowdy is beloved by so many conservatives around the country for his actions. He has gone on Fox News recently and talked about the corruption that went on under former President Barack Obama. We all know what a liar Obama was. This man hired his administration based on who he knew would not blow the whistle. Though recently it has backfired, it worked for the most part. On Fox, he wanted to talk about Susan Rice and the leaks that have happened since. We have all heard about the unmasking that went on under Susan Rice and Obama. What happened was big and illegal and should not be covered up by the left. The mainstream media will not cover this because it does not go with their agenda that they want to push. Obama was a liar that would do whatever it took to get on top. He wanted to be as powerful as possible, and this is one of the ways that he did that. This unmasking, Gowdy said on Fox. That is a privilege to be able to request that a U.S. person's name be unmasked. I want to know who's making the request, and what is the evidentiary basis of that request. And if it's late in your tenure, like the day before you leave office, that should send off alarms and sirens in your head as to why that person did it. Gowdy is a dog that can sniff out wrongdoing from miles away. That is why we love him. Just in this huge revelation will make Special Counsel Mueller resign. Let us get right to it then. Below we've listed some of the welcoming remarks Special Counsel Robert Mueller received upon being selected to oversee the Russia investigation. A great choice for Special Counsel. Republican Senator John McCain. Exactly the right kind of individual to serve as a special counsel in the Russia investigation. Senator Chuck Schumer. Somebody we all trust. GOP Congressman Darrell Issa. A good first step. Representative Nancy Pelosi. I welcome his role at Department of Justice. House Speaker Paul Ryan. Mueller is a great selection. Impeccable credentials. Should be widely accepted. Representative Jason Chaffetz. Due to the sly hypocrisy of former FBI Director James Comey, an associate of Mueller's, the praised independent investigator has been appointed by both parties in the same role of Watergate Special Counsel John Adore. Doug Ross at Journal, however, tries to convince us that Robert Mueller is far from an impartial and objective appointment to supervise the false Russia narrative and everybody and everything it encompasses. What made Ross be so doubtful? Well, you recall the anthrax attack on the Capitol in 2001? Ross remembers it quite well. In 2004, retired Foreign Service officer and intelligence analyst Kenneth J. Dillon tells Accuracy in Media, AIM, the FBI learned that the anthrax mailer was an al-Qaeda operative. Under White House pressure, Mueller suppressed this finding and continued to hunt for a domestic suspect. When scientist Bruce Evans committed suicide in 2008, Mueller blamed him for the mailings, then lied to a Senate committee about it. Bruce Evans was proven innocent after his death, so Robert Mueller took down yet another innocent scientist, Dr. Stephen Hatfield, pushing him out of two desirable positions and completely shattering his career in doing so. At one point, the FBI claimed to have fished a piece of Hatfield's lab equipment, supposedly an anthrax weapons device, out of a pond. The FBI spent $250,000 to drain the pond but found no evidence of anthrax in it. The device was a minnow bucket. The Russia investigation is just another futile attempt to tarnish the Trump administration. We all know how this one will turn out. Anderson Cooper just got devastating news, he's done. Reality Lee winner, a 25-year-old federal contractor, was arrested this previous end of the week and is set to face charges for removing classified material from an administration office and sent it to a news outlet. Since her arrest, It's been uncovered that winner was an enormous enthusiast of Michael Moore, Stephen Colbert, and Bill Maher. Presently, it's been uncovered that she had an individual association with a top CNN anchor. Zero Hedge revealed that winner was quite recently found to have a photograph of Anderson Cooper that he had marked for her by and by. When she posted the photograph on Facebook, she called Cooper her co-worker in the subtitle. "Reality, thank you for your service. Love, Anderson Cooper," he wrote on the photo. Something fishy is going ahead here. Uncovered. Just released ethics investigation suggests scandal-ridden Democrat violated U.S. House rules by. The political gossip amid this past decision cycle has revolved around the corruption that has tainted huge numbers of our country's congressional agents and the possibility of high office, Hillary Clinton, and organization being the most prominent government official up until this point. Her latest past sins, professedly, are about abusing and misusing arranged messages through an unsecured server, in addition to other things, however not morals infringement. At any rate not in the current go-round. She has, in spite of the fact that, had allegations of morals infringement when she was a youthful legal counselor required in the Nixon-Watergate examination. However, there is another Democrat, who is currently in a considerable amount of boiling point water. Representative John Lewis, D.Ga, is the most recent subject of a morals infringement investigation. This is, obviously, after we discovered that he is behind on paying his expenses for his lavish D.C. townhouse. Via Washington Free Beacon. A watchdog group is asking congressional ethics officials to investigate Representative John Lewis, D., Georgia, and his chief of staff over apparent violations of House ethics rules, according to a letter released on Monday. The Foundation for Accountability and Civic Trust's letter is asking the Office of Congressional Ethics to probe Lewis Chief of Staff Michael Collins' dual roles in the congressman's Washington office and as the treasurer for his 2016 re-election campaign. Ethics rules bar senior House staff from serving in any fiduciary role for a political organization and specifically mention campaign treasurers as a prohibited position for such staffers. Fax complaint does not just target Collins, it claims that Lewis himself is culpable for ethics violations by his top staffer. In this case, not only did Collins directly violate these rules, but Representative Lewis also violated the ethics rules because his own campaign employed Collins in a prohibited position and paid him a prohibited salary, FACT wrote in its letter to us. Morals rules exist for one principal reason: to keep the very sorts of manhandling Lewis and Collins are blamed for. It's the sort of debasement the D.C. swamp is known for. President Trump has guaranteed to drain the swamp and we couldn't be more excited to witness it. Haul the plug out, Mr. Trump. Obama spy scandal just erupts. Supreme Court judge leaked the truth. You know it and I know it. Obama's NSA was keeping an eye on private citizens, as well as on the very individuals who remained against him and his plan. They surveilled Senator Rand Paul, Donald Trump, General Flynn and other high-positioning figures in this legislature and abroad. Yes, we know they did. Yet, disregard people for a minute. Did you know our president additionally kept an eye on one of America's most hallowed foundations? This evening on Fox News Channel, Judge Andrew Napolitano, a previous Supreme Court judge in New Jersey, was discussing the present NSA unmasking scandal and how they've been utilizing unlawfully gathered metadata. Judge Napolitano at that point dropped one stunning sensation. Gateway pundit. Judge Napolitano, Justice Scalia told me that he often thought the court was being surveilled. And he told me that probably 4 or 5 years ago. If they had to unmask Senator Paul's name to reveal a conversation he had with a foreign agent and a foreign agent was hostile to the United States, they could do so. That's not what he's talking about. They're talking about unmasking him when he's having a conversation with his campaign manager when he runs in the Republican primary. During the discussion, Judge Napolitano also said Barack Obama could be subpoenaed to testify if he viewed the unmasked intelligence. The judge went ahead to clarify that the NSA, which has been gathering metadata since 2005, amid the George W. Hedge period, has started to really utilize the data they gathered for evil purposes. In congressional hearings a week ago, both James Clapper and Sally Yates were broadly addressed about the unmasking of information from the NSA-gathered files. Representative Charles Grassley, who is responsible for the investigations with respect to the releases that have been happening in the administration insight group since Trump won the decision, flame-broiled the previous Director of National Security and the previous Acting Attorney General about their insight into this embarrassment. The reverberating answer was, "I can't discuss that answer in this forum because of the confidential nature of the information. Give me a chance to get this straight, everything that we discuss, the business, is open source material for the legislature. Be that as it may, all that you discuss, the representative, is confidential and redacted." Definitely. Bodes well. Obama's beforehand leaked spy list just develops longer and more, isn't that right? Who didn't he keep an eye on?